Come on in, come out of the cold, welcome. Thank you. I'd like to welcome to the event tonight. Tonight's event will go towards women health initiatives at Westfields. Recognize many of you from last year's event. If you remember, last year's went to transportation initiatives at Westfields. This year we're going to go to women's health initiatives. So appreciate everyone's participation. I'd like to thank you. Remember, the auction goes until 8:30 p.m. on the 10th. This year's online, so again, we just really appreciate everyone here in supporting the event through the foundation, and hope you enjoy the evening. Thank you. Welcome everyone. Let's do introductions before we start the event. So if you don't know, Shelly Holland, our concierge at Westfields, the face of Westfields. I'm sure many of you have been greeted as you came into the building. So Shelly, thanks for coming. Patty Berger, Foundation Board Chair, thank you for making the time for tonight's great event. Joe Rich, Foundation Director, if you don't know Joe, great event to put on. And then we've got Marge Rowan. Thank you, Marge. Fellow Health Partners neighbor from Amory. We're just so happy to have you here. And
Steve, you said tonight is all about women's health issues, right? So that means I can talk about all the crazy things that have been happening to my body as I age.
All right, let's hold on a second. It's a tradition that I start this party with the ringing of the bell. So Steve, you want to take it from there?
yeah, and we got to introduce William. He's back again, I think a familiar face, William Bernier. And William, why don't we start off by some wine introductions.
All right,
so thank you.
All right, so the first wine we're enjoying tonight with your soup and your salad is Cave de Lugnet Les Charmes Chardonnay from the Burgundy region of France. This is a white Burgundy. A lot of people don't realize that a white Burgundy is a Chardonnay. Chardonnay is the primary grape of Burgundy, white grape. So Cave de Lugnet is a cooperative, and they are the largest producer of white Burgundy in the region. The vast majority of French wineries are what's called negociants, which is the winemaker purchases grapes from various farmers and then makes his own label, his own wine. Cave de Lugnet is different in that as a cooperative, all the growers are involved in the making of the wine. They get to choose the best of their best to put in the bottle, then they sell the leftover grapes to the negociants. So the reason I chose this wine to go with your soup and your salad, all of Cave de Lugnet Chardonnays are unoaked, strictly stainless steel, surly aging. So there's still a lot of brightness, which is going to be awesome with that salad. But also as a Chardonnay, it's going to still have a little bit of that creaminess, a little bit of earthiness, so it'll be perfect with the mushroom soup that you're enjoying. Cheers.
William, aren't these wines supposed to be dry? So then why do I have to go to the bathroom again? I mean, really, ladies, have you ever laughed so hard that tears ran down your legs? How can I be wet and dry at the same time? Men, a pause. With this discussion, I'll be back.
All right, everyone, here we go with dinner. And I have to say, let's go ahead and eat. And I have to say, thank you for talking about women's issues. It's so nice to see your openness. And at Westfields, we really want women of all ages to talk about women's issues with their
And good thing, because I don't have hot flashes.
doctor,
They're more like small, private, tropical vacations.
Okay, so the next one.
And not to brag, but I can forget what I'm doing while I'm doing it.
Okay, so the next wine came to us out of Prohibition.
Prohibition? Oh my gosh, I haven't had tub wine since my college party days. We call it Wapatuli.
And apparently you drank a lot of it. So the next wine, as I was saying, is Louis M. Martini, Sonoma County Cabernet Sauvignon. Louis Martini started the winery in 1922. At the start of Prohibition, he had to stop making wine, but he made sacramental wine for religious purposes, which was legal. And he made grape concentrate that people could buy and take home with a little warning on it that said, do not add a gallon of water, do not add yeast, do not heat to 180 degrees, which is basically a recipe for making wine saying, do not do this. But anyway, the wine itself is robust and bold. It's gonna go perfect with this dish. Please, take a sip.
Well, let's talk about the donations from tonight. Proceeds from tonight's event, some of them will go towards actually a brand new ultrasound with 3D images for our clinic.
Those images on those new machines are absolutely amazing. They're so crisp and clear.
I still have the image of my firstborn.
Oh, that's really nice, Marge.
That's very nice. Very nice.
This looks like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Well, it was a long time ago.
I think you're holding it upside down. Now may be a good time to turn our attention to something the foundation prepared, a short video. So let's take a look at the video screen and see what we're hoping to do tonight with some of the proceeds. So here we go.
I had attended a women's health conference, and at the conference it was pointed out that women are experiencing, as they get older, dysfunction and just discomfort as well. It was also shared that women typically don't talk about these things, at least not with their providers, that oftentimes women will share these with their family and friends, more so their friends, and that a lot of women just feel that this is something that goes along with getting older, that once you have children and once you get to a certain point in your life, that these things just happen. And so I created a questionnaire. The goal was then that once the provider comes into the room to do the annual exam, that they would look at the questionnaire, and if there was any yes answers, that they would address that with the patient and have that conversation. In collecting those, I found that over the course of a year plus, that we had more than 55% of our women who indicated yes to one or more of those questions. So there was a significant number of women who really did have issues that weren't necessarily being addressed because they weren't bringing them forth to their providers. I think the biggest learning for women is that there is opportunities out there for them to see improvement in those areas in which they are feeling that they are dysfunctional or that they're having discomfort or pain, that they can definitely not only have the conversation with their provider, but there's things that they can do, such as physical therapy, that will help with those situations that they're experiencing.
The pelvic floor can become dysfunctional. It can become weak. It can actually be too tight. It can actually have a dysrhythmia to it where it's actually not coordinating between a voiding cycle and when it's supposed to kind of relax and when it's supposed to be kind of turned on. And as we age, muscles can get weaker. We have fiber types that switch. As we age, we kind of start to lose some of what we call our fast twitch fibers in our muscles. They become slower. So some of that stress and that urgency can be part of that aging process, but there's ways we can train for that. That's our role. We want to give you the tools and the education so that you can take care of a lot of this dysfunction and have an improved quality of life and stay active.
Diagnostic ability of an ultrasound machine is amazing. It's probably the most important diagnostic tool, or one of them, that we have for women's health. Today, most clinics, if they have to do some imaging, an X-ray, a CT scan, or an ultrasound, they send the patient to either the hospital or a freestanding radiology center. And so the patient leaves, goes to a different area, maybe a different building, and has that done there. They get called sometimes later in the day or sometimes several days later with the results. But because we're able to do the ultrasound in the clinic, and I do most of it, especially for women's health, we're able to give the patient immediate feedback. So like anything in life, most people want the answer right away. And especially when it's related to your health, something that could be serious, you definitely want the answer right away. The fundraising goal is to try to purchase, a new machine. And, as far as technology goes, the new technology today is much, much better, providing better resolution, better ability to diagnose all sorts of issues, whether it's related to, pregnancy, both early in pregnancy or later in pregnancy, and also for non-pregnancy reasons, for GYN disease, whether that's cancer or fertility or other issues that are benign but still cause issues for women. I think what we're doing is really unique, to be able to do imaging in the clinic, especially by the specialist who in many cases is going to treat that patient. To have the best diagnostic tools at our fingertips is so helpful. It's great for us. I think it's made me, a much better provider to be able to listen to a patient, hear the symptoms she's describing, correlate that with what the exam is like, and then be able to tie in the ultrasound at the end and to say this is where all the pieces fit together, and I feel like this is the most likely reason why she's having these issues, whether it's pregnancy or non-pregnancy related. And so the fact that Westfields is committing to providing this service in the clinic is such a huge benefit for our community and the surrounding community.
We at Westfields Hospital and Clinic are committed to providing them with the best care possible. So please talk to your providers, bring this forward. It's not something that you need to live with, nor is it something that you should discuss only with your friends.
Well, ladies, William, what do you think?
After seeing that video, Steve, I am not going to ignore my pelvic floor health anymore. I'm calling Westfields tomorrow to make an appointment.
Well, are we ready for dessert?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're ready, but Marge, I think, is out having another hot flash, so let's just carry on.
All right, so the dessert wine today is Rosso Regale Bracchetto di Acqui from the Piedmont region of Italy. It's got some nice, refreshing raspberry notes, a little, obviously, bubbles, and some bright acidity on the back end. The interesting thing about this wine is, since about the time of Cleopatra, this wine has been very popular as a gift to love. Rumor has it that Julius Caesar and Mark Antony would both present Cleopatra with skins of Rosso Regale, because wine was in skins back then. And she would make the boys drink it to unleash their inner passion.
I don't need any wine to unlock my passion.
Wow, we learned a lot tonight, right, William?
Yeah, it was great. It was a great night.
Yeah, fun night. We just really appreciate everyone's participation, support, donations. Great event, raising lots of money for the women in New Richmond or New Richmond area. So just wanted to say thank you. Want to thank MRO for being a great sponsor for the event, and really all our sponsors. Couldn't happen without them. Want to say also put a plug in that the event is still open until 8:30 on the 10th, so you have time to contribute, support the event. And so again, we look forward to having this event next year, but know that 8:30 on the 10th, the event's open until, so look forward to those contributions and the support. Good night, and look forward to having you back next year.